Question number 9, Phil Twyford.
My question is for the Minister of Housing. What advice, if any, has he received on public support for measures designed to reduce demand in the housing market?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I have seen various public polls on the Reserve Bank's LVR speed limits and public commentary, some showing support, some opposed. The job of the Independent Reserve Bank is to maintain financial stability, not to win popularity contests. We need only look at the calamity resulting from out-of-control house price bubbles in Europe and in America to see the damage they can do to economies. I have been confused by some reports. Earlier this year, the opposition were calling for the Reserve Bank to use LVRs, but now they are strongly opposed to them. I guess that's what happened when you put dithering Davids and twits in charge of housing policy.
That part does not help the order of this House.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
What does he say to the 56% of National Party voters who believe that LVR lending restrictions are unfair to first-home buyers, and the 44% of National Party voters who support a capital gains tax as a way of restraining house price increases, or are they just misinformed?
Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I don't give great veracity to those polls. For instance, if you took a poll on whether the Reserve Bank put up interest rates at any time in the last 20 years, I'd bet the majority of people would say they don't want interest rates to go up. But how many people in this House, in fact the vast majority, voted for an independent Reserve Bank so that we would have financial stability? I note in the polls that 75% of Labor supporters give greater credibility to the economic policies of this government than his, and he should have a look in the mirror.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Order. 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 Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
To what extent has his chaotic and inept management of housing policy driven support for a capital gains tax from 37 to 52% since August, along with the fact that he's shut first-home buyers out of the market, house prices are still going up and new builds are going down, all on his watch?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I'd just like to challenge members opposite and to say if house prices go up by double or 10% compound per year during their time in government, how would you rate a government where they've gone up by 3% per year? I'd say a heck of a lot better. Mr Speaker, I'd also note that building permit figures, the reliable measure of new builds, has gone up every single month this year, has gone up every single month. And the final point I'd ask members opposite, all economists agree that Labor stuffed it up in the last decade in not taking any steps during that house price bubble. We are learning the lessons from their mistakes.
Speaker.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
Is he surprised that more young people aged 30 to 44 than any other age group think that LVRs are unfair to first-home buyers, that they won't restrain house price inflation, and that a capital gains tax is fair and will restrain house price inflation? Or does he believe that people in this age group are also wrong and misinformed, and that, as usual, he is right?
Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, the first point is that's interesting, coming from a member who at the beginning of the year was asking for LVRs. So my question is, why is it he is so disconnected from the young people he claims? Secondly, I note that in Australia, where they have some form of capital gains tax, not very successful, and they have foreign buyer bans, the latest report this week shows that there is a lower portion of first home buyers than ever, showing the nonsense of members' opposite policy. The worst damage for young home buyers is ongoing escalation in house prices. Enormous damage was done by young home buyers when house prices doubled under the previous government, and that is why this government has got so many policies underway to improve the access for first home buyers.
Question number 10, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.